Hello and welcome to another episode of Liberty Coin and Precious Metals Radio. Today we'll be talking about frequently asked questions that we receive here on a day-to-day basis. I think one that comes up often is, does this coin come with a certificate of authenticity? And in some cases, Joe, namely gold bars, do come with certificate of authenticities. For instance, the Perth bar of Australia, the PAMP Swiss bar of Switzerland, the Credit Suisse bar of Switzerland as well. But for the most part, a lot of coins, especially the American coins, many of the other coins, and pretty much all silver products do not come with those certificate of authenticities. Mm-hmm. Is the lack of a COA, Joe, something that people should be worried about?
No, I don't necessarily think so. We get that question a lot, and one of the things I like to say is that these coins are they're machined to such standards that they're very exact. And then so you'd be able to go onto a website like, for instance, the United States Mint, and you could see what the dimensions of the coin are and what the weight is of that coin. Mm-hmm. And if both of these aspects correlate with each other, then you know that it's an authentic coin.
Same with Wikipedia. And you can go there and you can learn all the dimensions of these coins. We had a gentleman come in today with a Chinese panda that he was worried about. A lot of people feel there's quite a bit of counterfeit coins coming out of China, and he put it in my hand and I was able to know right away that it was a 1-ounce gold panda. And it's similar for a $100 bill. A $100 bill doesn't come with a separate certificate of authenticity. With experience, we come to realize or become familiar with these bills, and we know that one is real compared to one that might be fake. With silver, what you have stamped on all of the coins, or at least the coins that you should be purchasing, is 0.999 fine silver. And that really serves as a certificate of authenticity in and of itself.
Right, and if you, I think that's one of the reasons that people typically like the coins, because they have an international recognition to them. You would be able to go into any country. For instance, we have a lot of the Indian customers that come in, and one of the coins that they prefer to get is the maple leaf coin, mm-hmm. the Canadian maple leaf coin. That's a 24 karat coin, and they know that they can take this coin, and in India it would be recognized because you can take it anywhere, instantly do that weight and measurement test that we're talking about, and it has to be gold. Mm-hmm. And so when people ask if there's any kind of certificate that's associated with it, it's kind of hard not to laugh sometimes, but if I were to give you a piece of paper, that doesn't mean that mm-hmm. it's authentic. We can do the test to see that it's authentic.
It'd be much easier to counterfeit a COA than it would be to counterfeit a gold coin. Mm-hmm. The maple leaf, for example, we know weighs 31.1 grams. The 22 karat ones weigh a little bit more because of the ferrous metals that are included. The Krugerrand, the Gold Eagle, the Panda, they have copper and silver in them mostly. So they're going to weigh a little bit more than a troy ounce, but that's because they're not pure gold. Mm-hmm. The pure gold coins like the Philharmonic from Austria, the Kangaroo from Australia, the Maple Leaf from Canada, those do weigh 31.1, pretty much spot on. And in some cases 31.2, but that's really a difference that one shouldn't be too concerned about. It's the feel, it's the look of the coin that an experienced coin purchaser can be confident that they're holding a real gold or silver coin.
Uh-huh. And I think I understand how people are uncertain because they don't have the association that we have with working with it. We actually had the Centenario, which is the 50 peso gold piece, come through our store recently, and instantly we knew that it wasn't real because it didn't have that weight to it. It didn't feel like gold. Mm-hmm. And then sure enough, once you did a little bit more investigation, you could see that it was clearly fake. Mm-hmm. So right, with coins you just have that certainty. It's intrinsic in the coin that it's authentic.
We should be more confident with the coins than paper in any case. With those Mexican pesos, you really could tell right away. And the gentleman this week asked me, what if it's just gold-plated? And I told him that if it were just gold-plated, there's no way this coin would be so heavy and this size. Moving on, a lot of people are concerned with confiscation. So they look towards perhaps collector's coins, or they look towards perhaps being secretive in their purchases when they're buying gold and silver bullion. There are, of course, ways in which to maintain privacy when you're buying bullion. But as far as confiscation goes, Joe, I think that if we ever were to find ourselves in a position like that, the last thing that we would be worried about is the confiscation of our gold and silver. Furthermore, when gold was confiscated in 1933, not only did a great number of people not turn in their gold, but furthermore, gold was money then. Our coins that were issued by the U.S. government had gold in them or silver in them, namely gold. And that's one reason why the government was so easily able to pass an executive order that demanded the turning in by the American people of their gold coins.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I think it'll be a little bit more trickier because more than anything, although there of course are many public mints that are producing gold and silver coins, gold and silver are private endeavors. You buy these products from private businesses.
Right. I think that people really misunderstand the gold confiscation that occurred with Roosevelt. You hit on it a little bit when you said that essentially the government was calling in their gold. Was it, a travesty against the American people? Of course it was, because what Roosevelt did is the dollar was basically reevaluated at $35. So now Roosevelt had Americans work for 40% less than they were accustomed to working for. So that would be like the real crime that was committed there. But these were coins that were circulated by the U.S. government. Essentially, they were calling them in the same way that when the U.S. government decides that they're going to move to another $100 bills, they take the other ones out of circulation.
It's important to keep in mind that these days, I think that although gold was illegal to own from 33 to 75 with the dollar off the gold standard, buying gold and silver is like buying any other product that's on the market, and it's something that can be kept private as long as you spend less than $10,000 per transaction as defined by the IRS. So a lot of people ask, are there reporting requirements? When you sell, you are going to have short-term and long-term reporting requirements. When you purchase, however, if you spend less than $10,000 in green folding cash per IRS-defined transaction, we, the business, do not have reporting requirements, and neither do you, the consumer, which I think a lot of people are concerned about. And really, once they know this law and realize that a lot of the bullion dealers they deal with are treated as banks or financial institutions, it becomes much clearer for them.
Yeah. Going back to the confiscation issue, though, I think that it's important. And what will happen a lot in the industry is that, especially if you go online and you find someone and you go to like one of these big call centers, they're going to try to push you on numismatics because they'll say that it's a rare coin and that the government can't, seize this. But it's almost funny when if you know the history behind it. It's like, well, these coins were actually the ones that were supposed to be seized in the first place. So the fact that they now somehow can't collect them because in that seizure act it said, or in the executive order it said that rare coins didn't apply.
It's pretty Orwellian, the logic that a lot of these companies are pushing.
Right. One of the things to keep in mind, like the numismatics, there's nothing rare about them. There's actually an abundance of these coins that are out there in circulation. Europe has a good deal of them because what happened is a lot of that gold got sent to Europe. So what's happening now is we're seeing an influx of the coins returning. So keep in mind that rare myth doesn't necessarily apply. Just because something is old doesn't mean it's rare.
I understand the sentiment behind wanting to old coins. You and I, Joe, are both very interested in history, and it's very cool holding a coin that's 150 years. But the premiums that are charged in a lot of cases basically have the support behind them as a baseball card might. Mm-hmm. So you're paying maybe double melt, triple melt, 4 or 5 times melt on coins, such as maybe an MS-65 Morgan. Basically, what you're paying above and beyond the silver value in there, compared to what you normally would on a bullion coin, is what you'd be paying, say, if you went and bought a Nolan Ryan rookie card for $300. There's not too much backing that premium. If you can find a reasonable gold, silver bullion dealer who also has rare coins, that also is perhaps not interested in hyping the confiscation theory or myth, you can probably find a lot of old coins at a very reasonable price. And in that case, there's really nothing wrong with purchasing those coins, because they are, I think, historical artifacts to a degree.
Yeah, I think what's important is to keep in mind that you're purchasing gold. Your investment is into the gold, so you need to keep in mind that you're only paying, basically the underlying gold that's there. And just some old solid advice is to follow the money. So if you look throughout the world, China right now is buying gold. Basically, they're moving the market, and they're not buying numismatics. They're buying bullion gold because the numismatics really don't have a value outside of that.
Mm-hmm. Was that Peter Schiff?
That was, yes, I did read that from Peter Schiff.
I read that also from him. It's a good point. So bringing this full circle, how do I know this coin is real? I think first and foremost, you probably want to avoid eBay, for example, if you're going to be buying coins. Craigslist, you want to avoid. Stick with reputable dealers who have an interest in supplying real product.
Yeah, you should always go for a place that has like a passion for what they're selling. So, it's always, for 5,000 years, the way to do business has been person to person. You call a call center somewhere distant, they're going to try to sell you on the product that they're told to push. You come into a place, find a local place, go in there and talk to the people. And I think that generally you should get a good understanding and a good feeling about like what they believe, and make your own decisions. But there's reputable people out there. As much as there's a bad name in the industry, there's actually some really good people out there too, and I think you can find them.
Absolutely. Well, this is our frequently asked questions episode here at Liberty Coin and Precious Metals. I imagine we'll be doing some more of these. Thank you very much for listening, and we look forward to hearing from you next time.